Determine whether each value of x is a solution of the equation. The equation is x divided by 3 minus x divided by 5 equals 4/3. The values are x equals 0, x equals negative 2, x equals 1/8, and x equals 10. To test whether or not each value is a solution, substitute the value into the original equation for x. For x equals 0, you are testing if 0 divided by 3 minus 0 divided by 5 is equal to 4/3. This simplifies to 0 minus 0 equals 4/3. 0 does not equal 4/3, so x equals 0 is not a solution. For x equals negative 2, you are testing if negative 2 divided by 3 minus negative 2 divided by 5 is equal to 4/3. Start by finding the least common denominator of the three denominators. The denominators are 3, 5, and 3. The least common denominator is 15. You want each fraction to have a denominator of 15. Multiply negative 2/3 by 5 divided by 5, negative 2/5 by 3 divided by 3, and 4/3 by 5 divided by 5. You are left with negative 10 divided by 15 plus 6 divided by 15 is equal to 20 divided by 15. This simplifies to negative 14/15, which is not equal to 20/15. So x equals negative 2 is not a solution. For x equals 1/8, you are testing if 1/8 divided by 3 minus 1/8 divided by 5 is equal to 4/3. When dividing by a fraction, invert the divisor and multiply. 1 divided by 8 times 3 minus 1 divided by 8 times 5 is equal to 4/3. Simplify the denominators. 1 divided by 24 minus 1 divided by 40 equals 4/3. Now find the least common denominator. The least common multiple of 3, 24, and 40 is 120. Multiply 1/24 by 5 divided by 5, 1/40 by 3 divided by 3, and 4/3 by 40 divided by 40. This simplifies to 5 divided by 120 minus 3 divided by 120 equals 160 divided by 120, which simplifies to 2 divided by 120, which is not equal to 160 divided by 120. So x equals 1/8 is not a solution. For x equals 10, you are testing if 10 divided by 3 minus 10 divided by 5 is equal to 4/3. The least common denominator is 15. You want each fraction to have a denominator of 15. Multiply 10/3 by 5 divided by 5, multiply 10/5 by 3 divided by 3, and multiply 4/3 by 5 divided by 5. This simplifies to 50/15 minus 30/15 equals 20/15, which simplifies to 20/15, which is equal to 20/15. So x equals 10 is a solution. Solve the equation. X divided by 6 minus 1 equals 2/3. Start by multiplying each term by the least common denominator. In this case, the least common denominator is 6. X divided by 6 is x because the 6's cancel out. And 2/3 times 6 is 4. X minus 6 equals 4. Add 6 to each side. X equals 10. Check if this is the solution by substituting 10 into the original equation for x. You are testing if 10 divided by 6 minus 1 is equal to 2/3. 1 can be rewritten as 6 divided by 6. Both terms on the left side of the equation now have the same denominator, so you can subtract the numerators. You are left with 4/6 on the left side of the equation. Both 4 and 6 have a factor of 2, so you can take a 2 out of both the numerator and denominator. 2/3 is equal to 2/3, so the solution is x equals 10. Solve the equation. 1/4 equals z plus 1 divided by 8. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator of the two fractions. The denominators are 4 and 8, so the least common denominator is 8. On the left side of the equation, 8 times 1/4 equals 2, and on the right side of the equation, the 8's cancel out. You are left with 2 equals z plus 1. Subtract 1 from each side. 1 equals z. Check if this is the solution by substituting 1 into the original equation for z. You are testing if 1/4 is equal to 1 plus 1 divided by 8. 1 plus 1 equals 2, and 8 can be written as 4 times 2. You are testing if 1/4 is equal to 2 divided by 2 times 4. The 2's cancel out. You are left with 1/4, which is equal to 1/4. So the solution is z equals 1. Solve the equation. X divided by 4 plus x divided by 2 equals 2x divided by 3. Multiply each term by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 12. 12 times x divided by 4 is 3x because 12 divided by 4 is 3. 12 times x divided by 2 is 6x because 12 divided by 2 is 6. And 12 times 2x divided by 3 is 8x because 12 times 2/3 is 8. Combine like terms. Add the 3x and the 6x. You are left with 9x equals 8x. The only value of x for which this is true is x equals 0. Test whether or not this is a solution by substituting 0 into the original equation for x. You are testing if 0 divided by 4 plus 0 divided by 2 is equal to 2 times 0 divided by 3. Both sides of the equation simplify to 0. So x is equal to 0. Solve the equation. Z plus 2 divided by 3 equals 4 minus z divided by 12. Multiply each term by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 12. 12 times z plus 2 divided by 3 simplifies to 4 times the quantity z plus 2. 12 times 4 equals 48, and 12 times z divided by 12 simplifies to z. Distribute the 4 to the z plus 2. Subtract 8 from each side and add z to each side. 5z equals 40. Divide each side by 5. Z equals 8. Test whether or not this is a solution by substituting 8 into the original equation for z. You are testing if 8 plus 2 divided by 3 is equal to 4 minus 8 divided by 12. 8 plus 2 divided by 3 simplifies to 10 divided by 3, and 8/12 simplifies to 2/3. On the right side of the equation, you want to subtract the two terms. In order to do this, they need the same denominator. Multiply 4 by 3 divided by 3 so that the two terms have the same denominator. You can now subtract the numerators. You are left with 10/3 equals 10/3, which is a true statement, so z equals 8. Solve the equation. X minus 5 divided by 5 plus 3 equals negative x divided by 4. Multiply each term by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 20. X minus 5 divided by 5 times 20 simplifies to 4 times the quantity x minus 5. 3 times 20 equals 60, and negative x divided by 4 times 20 simplifies to negative 5x. Distribute the 4 to the x minus 5. Combine like terms. Add the 60 and negative 20. Add 5x to each side and subtract 40 from each side. 9x equals negative 40. Divide each side by 9. X equals negative 40/9. To test whether or not this is a solution to the equation, substitute negative 40/9 into the original equation for x. Negative 40/9 minus 5 divided by 5 plus 3 equals negative 40/9 divided by 4. For both fractions, invert the divisor and multiply by it. Also, the two negatives on the right side of the equation cancel out. 1/5 times negative 40/9 equals negative 8/9. Negative 1 plus 3 equals 2, and 1/4 times 40/9 equals 10/9. To add the terms on the left side of the equation, they need to have the same denominator. Multiply 2 by 9 divided by 9 so that the two terms have the same denominator. Now you can add the numerators. Negative 8/9 plus 18/9 equals 10/9, which is equal to 10/9. So x equals negative 40/9 is the solution. Solve the equation. X squared divided by 2 minus 3x divided by 5 equals negative 1/10. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 10. 10x squared divided by 2 simplifies to 5x squared. Negative 10 times 3x divided by 5 simplifies to negative 6x, and 10 times negative 1/10 simplifies to negative 1. Add 1 to each side. 5x squared minus 6x plus 1 equals 0. This factors into 5x minus 1 and x minus 1. The left side of this equation is equal to 0 when either factor is equal to 0. So set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. 5x minus 1 equals 0 and x minus 1 equals 0. For the first one, add 1 to each side. 5x equals 1. Divide each side by 5. X equals 1/5. For the second equation, add 1 to each side. X equals 1. To check if these are solutions, substitute 1/5 and 1 into the original equation for x. You are testing if 1/5 squared divided by 2 minus 3 times the quantity 1/5 divided by 5 is equal to negative 1/10. 1/5 squared is equal to 1/25, and 3 times 1/5 is equal to 3/5. When dividing fractions, invert the divisor and multiply. Multiply 1/25 by 1/2, and multiply 3/5 by 1/5. 1/50 minus 3/25 equals negative 1/10. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 50. 50 divided by 50 minus 150 divided by 25 equals negative 50 divided by 10. This simplifies to 1 minus 6 equals negative 5. Negative 5 equals negative 5, so 1/5 is a solution. Repeat this process for x equals 1. You are testing if 1 squared divided by 2 times 3 times 1 divided by 5 is equal to negative 1/10. 1 squared is 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. So this simplifies to 1/2 minus 3/5 is equal to negative 1/10. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 10. 10/2 minus 30/5 is equal to negative 10/10. This simplifies to 5 minus 6 equals negative 1. Negative 1 is equal to negative 1, so x equals 1 is also a solution. So the solutions are x equals 1/5 and x equals 1. Solve the equation. T divided by 2 equals 12 minus 3t squared divided by 2. Start by multiplying each side by the least common denominator of the two fractions. Both fractions have a denominator of 2, so the least common denominator is 2. T equals 24 minus 3t squared. Add 3t squared and subtract 24 from each side. 3t squared plus t minus 24 equals 0. This factors into 3t minus 8 and t plus 3. The left side of this equation is equal to 0 when either factor is equal to 0. So set each factor equal to 0 and solve for t. 3t minus 8 equals 0 and t plus 3 equals 0. For the first one, add 8 to each side. 3t equals 8. Divide each side by 3. T equals 8 thirds. For the second one, subtract 3 from each side. T equals negative 3. To check if these are solutions, substitute 8 thirds and negative 3 into the original equation for t. 8 thirds divided by 2 equals 12 minus 3 times the quantity 8 thirds squared divided by 2. 8 thirds divided by 2 is 8 sixths. And 8 thirds squared is 64 divided by 9. 8 sixths simplifies to 4 thirds, and 3 times 64 ninths simplifies to 64 thirds. 4 thirds equals 12 minus 64 thirds divided by 2. 64 thirds divided by 2 is equal to 32 thirds. In order to subtract the fractions on the left side of the equation, they need to have the same denominator. Multiply 12 by 3 divided by 3 so it has the same denominator as negative 32 thirds. 4 thirds equals 36 thirds minus 32 thirds, which simplifies to 4 thirds equals 4 thirds. So t equals 8 thirds is the solution. Repeat this process for t equals negative 3. Negative 3 halves equals 12 minus 3 times negative 3 squared divided by 2. Negative 3 times negative 3 squared is negative 27. In order to subtract the two terms on the right side of the equation, they need to have the same denominator. Multiply 12 by 2 divided by 2 so it has the same denominator as negative 27 halves. Negative 3 halves equals 24 halves minus 27 halves. You can now subtract the numerators on the right side of the equation. Negative 3 halves equals negative 3 halves. So t equals negative 3 is the solution. The solution is t equals 8 thirds and negative 3. Solve the equation. 9 divided by 25 minus y equals negative 1/4. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 4 times the quantity 25 minus y. On the left side of the equation, the 25 minus y's cancel out. On the right side of the equation, the 4's cancel out. You are left with 36 equals negative 1 times the quantity 25 minus y. Distribute the negative 1 to the quantity 25 minus y. 36 equals negative 25 plus y. Add 25 to each side. 61 equals y. Check whether or not this is a solution by substituting 61 into the original equation for y. You are testing if 9 divided by 25 minus 61 is equal to negative 1/4. This simplifies to 9 divided by negative 36 equals negative 1/4. Negative 1/4 is equal to negative 1/4, so 61 is the solution. Solve the equation. 5 minus 12 divided by a equals 5 thirds. Multiply each term by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 3a. In the second term on the left side of the equation, the a's cancel out, and on the right side of the equation, the 3's cancel out. You are left with 15a minus 36 equals 5a. Subtract 5a from each side and add 36 to each side. 10a equals 36. Divide each side by 10. a equals 36 tenths. A 2 is a factor in both the numerator and denominator, so it would cancel out. You are left with 18 fifths. Check whether or not this is a solution by substituting 18 fifths into the original equation for a. You are testing if 5 minus 12 divided by 18 fifths is equal to 5 thirds. For 12 divided by 18 fifths, invert the divisor and multiply. 5/18 times 12 simplifies to 10 thirds. To subtract the terms on the left side of the equation, they need to have the same denominator. Multiply 5 by 3 divided by 3 so that the two terms have the same denominator. 15 thirds minus 10 thirds simplifies to 5 thirds. 5 thirds is equal to 5 thirds. So a equals 18 fifths is the solution. Solve the equation. 4 divided by x minus 7 divided by 5x equals negative 1/2. Multiply each term by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is 10x. In the first term on the left side of the equation, the x's cancel out. 10x times 4 divided by x simplifies to 40. 10x times negative 7 divided by 5x simplifies to negative 14. And 10x times negative 1/2 simplifies to negative 5x. Combine like terms. Add the 40 and negative 14. 26 equals negative 5x. Divide each side by negative 5. Negative 26 fifths equals x. Check whether or not this is a solution by substituting negative 26 fifths into the original equation for x. You are testing if 4 divided by negative 26 fifths minus 7 divided by 5 times negative 26 fifths is equal to negative 1/2. For 4 divided by negative 26 fifths, invert the divisor and multiply. For 7 divided by 5 times negative 26 fifths, the 5's cancel out. 5 divided by negative 26 times 4 simplifies to negative 20/26. And negative 7 divided by negative 26 simplifies to 7 divided by 26. Both terms in the left side of the equation have the same denominator, so you can add the numerators. Negative 13/26 simplifies to negative 1/2, which is equal to negative 1/2. So negative 26 fifths is the solution. Solve the equation. 12 divided by y plus 5 plus 1/2 equals 2. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The two denominators are y plus 5 and 2. So the least common denominator is 2 times the quantity y plus 5. In the first term on the left side of the equation, the y plus 5's cancel out. In the second term on the left side of the equation, the 2's cancel out. You are left with 24 plus y plus 5 equals 4 times the quantity y plus 5. Distribute the 4 on the right side of the equation and combine like terms on the left side of the equation. Y plus 29 equals 4y plus 20. Subtract 4y from each side and subtract 29 from each side. Negative 3y equals negative 9. Divide each side by negative 3. Y equals 3. To check if this is the solution or not, substitute 3 into the original equation for y. You are testing if 12 divided by 3 plus 5 plus 1/2 is equal to 2. Add the 3 and the 5 together, and the 12 divided by 3 plus 5. 12/8 simplifies to 3/2. Both terms on the left side of the equation have the same denominator, so you can add the numerators together. 4/2 simplifies to 2, which is equal to 2. So y equals 3 is the solution. Solve the equation. 5 divided by x equals 25 divided by 3 times the quantity x plus 2. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The two denominators are x and 3 times the quantity x plus 2. So the least common denominator is 3 times x times the quantity x plus 2. On the left side of the equation, the x's cancel out. On the right side of the equation, the 3's and the x plus 2's cancel out. You are left with 15 times the quantity x plus 2 equals 25x. Distribute the 15 to the x plus 2. Subtract 15x from each side. Divide each side by 10. X equals 3. To check if this is a solution, substitute 3 into the original equation for x. You are testing if 5/3 is equal to 25 divided by 3 times the quantity 3 plus 2. 25 can be written as 5 times 5, and the quantity 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. A 5 in the numerator and denominator cancel out on the right side of the equation. You are left with 5/3 equals 5/3, so x equals 3 is a solution. Solve the equation. 8 divided by 3x plus 5 equals 1 divided by x plus 2. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is the quantity 3x plus 5 times the quantity x plus 2. On the left side of the equation, the 3x plus 5's cancel out. On the right side of the equation, the x plus 2's cancel out. You are left with 8 times the quantity x plus 2 equals 3x plus 5. Distribute the 8 to the x plus 2. 8x plus 16 equals 3x plus 5. Subtract 3x and 16 from each side. 5x equals negative 11. Divide each side by 5. X equals negative 11/5. To check if this is the solution, substitute negative 11/5 into the original equation for x. You are checking if 8 divided by 3 times negative 11/5 plus 5 is equal to 1 divided by negative 11/5 plus 2. To get rid of the fractions in the denominator, multiply each denominator by 5. You are testing if 8 divided by 3 times negative 11 plus 5 times 5 is equal to 1 divided by negative 11 plus 2 times 5. This simplifies to 8 divided by negative 8 equals 1 divided by negative 1. Negative 1 equals negative 1, so negative 11/5 is a solution. Solve the equation. 3 divided by x plus 2 minus 1 divided by x equals 1 divided by 5x. Start by finding the least common denominator. The three denominators are x plus 2, x, and 5x. The least common denominator has to have each of these as factors. The least common denominator is the quantity x plus 2 times 5x. Multiply each side of the equation by the quantity x plus 2 times 5x. On the first term in the left side of the equation, the x plus 2's cancel out. In the second term on the left side of the equation, the x's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the 5x's cancel out. You are left with 15x minus 5 times the quantity x plus 2 equals x plus 2. Distribute the negative 5. 15x minus 5x minus 10 equals x plus 2. Combine like terms. 10x minus 10 equals x plus 2. Add 10 and subtract x from each side. 9x equals 12. Divide each side by 9. X equals 12 divided by 9, which simplifies to 4/3. So x equals 4/3. To determine whether or not this is the solution, substitute 4/3 into the original equation. You are testing if 3 divided by 4/3 plus 2 minus 1 divided by 4/3 is equal to 1 divided by 5 times 4/3. Simplify the denominators. 4/3 plus 2 is 10/3, and 5 times 4/3 is 20/3. When dividing by fractions, invert the divisors and multiply. You are testing if 9/10 minus 3/4 is equal to 3/20. In order to subtract the fractions on the left side of the equation, find the least common denominator. The least common denominator of 4 and 10 is 20. So multiply 9/10 by 2 divided by 2 and 3/4 by 5 divided by 5. Now you can subtract the numerators. 3/20 is equal to 3/20, so x equals 4/3 is the solution.
Solve the equation. 1 divided by x minus 4 plus 2 equals 2x divided by x minus 4. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is x minus 4. In the first term on the left side of the equation, the x minus 4's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the x minus 4's cancel out. You are left with 1 plus 2x minus 8 equals 2x. Combine like terms. Add the 1 and negative 8. 2x minus 7 equals 2x. Subtract 2x from each side. Negative 7 equals 0. Negative 7 does not equal 0, so there is no solution to the original equation.
Solve the equation. 4 divided by x times the quantity x minus 1 plus 3 divided by x equals 4 divided by x minus 1. Find the least common denominator. The three denominators are x times the quantity x minus 1, x, and x minus 1. The least common denominator has to have each of these as factors. The least common denominator is x times the quantity x minus 1. Multiply each side of the equation by x times the quantity x minus 1. In the first term on the left side of the equation, the x times the quantity x minus 1 cancels out. On the second term on the left side of the equation, the x's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the x minus 1's cancel out. You are left with 4 plus 3 times the quantity x minus 1 equals 4x. Distribute the 3 to the quantity x minus 1. 4 plus 3x minus 3 equals 4x. Combine like terms. 1 plus 3x equals 4x. Subtract 3x from each side. X equals 1. To test whether or not this is a solution, substitute 1 into the original equation for x. You are testing if 4 divided by 1 times the quantity 1 minus 1 plus 3 divided by 1 is equal to 4 divided by 1 minus 1. This simplifies to 4 divided by 0 plus 3 is equal to 4 divided by 0. Division by 0 is undefined. So the solution x equals 1 is extraneous, and there is no solution. Solve the equation. 2 divided by x minus 10 minus 3 divided by x minus 2 equals 6 divided by x squared minus 12x plus 20. X squared minus 12x plus 20 factors into the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 10. So 2 divided by x minus 10 minus 3 divided by x minus 2 equals 6 divided by the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 10. Find the least common denominator of the three fractions. The least common denominator has to contain each of the denominators as a factor. The least common denominator is the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 10. multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. On the first term on the left side of the equation, the x minus 10's cancel out. On the second term of the left side of the equation, the x minus 2's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 10 cancels out. You are left with 2 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 3 times the quantity x minus 10 equals 6. Distribute the 2 and the negative 3. 2x minus 4 minus 3x plus 30 equals 6. Combine like terms. Negative x plus 26 equals 6. Subtract 26 from each side. Negative x equals negative 20. Divide each side by negative 1. X equals 20. To test whether or not this is the solution, substitute 20 into the original equation for x. You are testing if 2 divided by 20 minus 10 minus 3 divided by 20 minus 2 is equal to 6 divided by 20 squared minus 12 times 20 plus 20. Simplify the denominators. Now find the least common denominator. The least common multiple of 10, 18, and 180 is 180. So you want each denominator to be 180. Multiply 2 divided by 10 by 18 divided by 18, and 3 divided by 18 by 10 divided by 10. You are testing if 36 divided by 180 minus 30 divided by 180 is equal to 6 divided by 180. The two fractions on the left side of the equation now have the same denominator, so you can subtract the numerators. You are left with 6 divided by 180, which is equal to 6 divided by 180. So the solution is x equals 20. Solve the equation. 1 minus 6 divided by 4 minus x equals x plus 2 divided by x squared minus 16. A negative 1 can be factored out of 4 minus x, and x squared minus 16 can be factored into x minus 4 and x plus 4. Now multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is the quantity x minus 4 times the quantity x plus 4. On the second term on the left side of the equation, the x minus 4's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the quantity x minus 4 times the quantity x plus 4 cancels out. You are left with the quantity x minus 4 times the quantity x plus 4 plus 6 times the quantity x plus 4 equals x plus 2. Multiply the x minus 4, the x plus 4, and distribute the 6 to the x plus 4. X squared minus 16 plus 6x plus 24 equals x plus 2. Subtract x and 2 from each side. X squared minus 16 plus 6x plus 24 minus x minus 2 equals 0. Combine like terms. X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. X squared plus 5x plus 6 factors into x plus 3 and x plus 2. The left side of this equation is equal to 0 when either factor is equal to 0, so set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. X plus 3 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. For the first one, subtract 3 from each side. X equals negative 3. For the second one, subtract 2 from each side. X equals negative 2. To test whether or not these are solutions, substitute them into the original equation for x. You are testing if 1 minus 6 divided by 4 minus negative 3 is equal to negative 3 plus 2 divided by negative 3 squared minus 16. This simplifies to 1 minus 6 sevenths equals negative 1 divided by 9 minus 16, which simplifies to 1 seventh is equal to 1 seventh. This is true, so x equals negative 3 is a solution. Now test if 1 minus 6 divided by 4 minus negative 2 is equal to negative 2 plus 2 divided by negative 2 squared minus 16. This simplifies to 1 minus 1 is equal to 0 minus 4 minus 16, which simplifies to 0 equals 0. This is true, so x equals negative 2 is also a solution. The solutions are x equals negative 3 and x equals negative 2. Solve the equation. 2x divided by 5 equals x squared minus 5x divided by 5x. Find the least common denominator. The two denominators are 5 and 5x. So the least common denominator is 5x. Multiply each side of the equation by 5x. On the left side of the equation, the 5's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the 5x's cancel out. You are left with 2x squared equals x squared minus 5x. Subtract x squared minus 5x from each side. X squared plus 5x equals 0. Factor an x out of the left side of this equation. X times the quantity x plus 5 equals 0. The left side of the equation is equal to 0 when either factor is equal to 0. So x equals 0 and x plus 5 equals 0. For x plus 5 equals 0, subtract 5 from each side. X equals negative 5. To test whether x equals 0 and x equals negative 5 are solutions, substitute them into the original equation for x. So test if 2 times 0 divided by 5 is equal to 0 squared minus 5 times 0 divided by 5 times 0. This simplifies to 0 equals 0 divided by 0. Division by 0 is undefined, so 0 is not equal to 0 divided by 0. X equals 0 is extraneous. Now test if 2 times negative 5 divided by 5 is equal to negative 5 squared minus 5 times negative 5 divided by 5 times negative 5. This simplifies to negative 10 divided by 5 equals 25 plus 25 divided by negative 25, which simplifies to negative 2 equals negative 2. This is a true statement, so x equals negative 5 is a solution. The solution is x equals negative 5. Solve the equation. Y plus 1 divided by y plus 10 equals y minus 2 divided by y plus 4. Find the least common denominator. The two denominators are y plus 10 and y plus 4. So the least common denominator is the quantity y plus 10 times the quantity y plus 4. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. On the left side of the equation, the y plus 10's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the y plus 4's cancel out. You are left with the quantity y plus 1 times the quantity y plus 4 equals the quantity y plus 10 times the quantity y minus 2. This simplifies to y squared plus 5y plus 4 equals y squared plus 8y minus 20. Subtract y squared plus 8y minus 20 from each side. Y squared plus 5y plus 4 minus y squared minus 8y plus 20 equals 0. Combine like terms. Negative 3y plus 24 equals 0. Subtract 24 from each side. Negative 3y equals negative 24. Divide each side by negative 3. Y equals 8. To test whether or not this is the solution, substitute 8 into the original equation for y. You are testing if 8 plus 1 divided by 8 plus 10 is equal to 8 minus 2 divided by 8 plus 4. Simplify each numerator and denominator. This simplifies to 9/18 is equal to 6/12, which simplifies to 1/2 is equal to 1/2. This is a true statement, so y equals 8 is the solution. Solve the equation. X divided by x minus 2 plus 3x divided by x minus 4 equals negative 2 times the quantity x minus 6 divided by x squared minus 6x plus 8. X squared minus 6x plus 8 factors into the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 4. X divided by x minus 2 plus 3x divided by x minus 4 equals negative 2 times the quantity x minus 6 divided by the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 4. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The least common denominator is the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 4.
In the first term on the left side of the equation, the x minus 2's cancel out. In the second term of the left side of the equation, the x minus 4's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 4's cancel out. You are left with x times the quantity x minus 4 plus 3x times the quantity x minus 2 equals negative 2 times the quantity x minus 6. Distribute the x, 3x, and negative 2. X squared minus 4x plus 3x squared minus 6x equals negative 2x plus 12. Subtract negative 2x plus 12 from each side. X squared minus 4x plus 3x squared minus 6x plus 2x minus 12 equals 0. Combine like terms. 4x squared minus 8x minus 12 equals 0. Divide each side of this equation by 4. X squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. X squared minus 2x minus 3 factors into x minus 3 and x plus 1. The left side of the equation is equal to 0 when either factor is equal to 0, so set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. X minus 3 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. For the first equation, add 3 to each side. X equals 3. For the second equation, subtract 1 from each side. X equals negative 1. To test whether or not these are the solutions, substitute them into the original equation for x. For 3, you are testing if 3 divided by 3 minus 2 plus 3 times 3 divided by 3 minus 4 is equal to negative 2 times the quantity 3 minus 6 divided by 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 8. This simplifies to 3 divided by 1 plus 9 divided by negative 1 is equal to 6 divided by negative 1, which simplifies to negative 6, which is equal to negative 6. So x equals 3 is a solution. For negative 1, you are testing if negative 1 divided by negative 1 minus 2 plus 3 times negative 1 divided by negative 1 minus 4 is equal to negative 2 times negative 1 minus 6 divided by negative 1 squared minus 6 times negative 1 plus 8. This simplifies to 1/3 plus 3/5 equals 14/5. You want each term to have the same denominator. The least common denominator is 15. Multiply 1/3 by 5 divided by 5 and 3/5 by 3 divided by 3 so that each fraction has a denominator of 15. You are testing if 5/15 plus 9/15 is equal to 14/15. Now that the two fractions on the left side of the equation have the same denominator, you can add the numerators. You are left with 14/15, which is equal to 14/15, so x equals negative 1 is a solution. The solution is x equals 3 and x equals negative 1. Solve the equation. X divided by 3 equals 1 plus 4 divided by x divided by 1 plus 2 divided by x. The right side of the equation is a complex fraction. Multiply both the numerator and denominator by the least common denominator of the two fractions inside the fraction. The two fractions are 4 divided by x and 2 divided by x, so the least common denominator is x. Now multiply the numerators and denominators. You are left with x divided by 3 equals x plus 4 divided by x plus 2. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The two denominators are 3 and the quantity x plus 2, so the least common denominator is 3 times the quantity x plus 2. On the left side of the equation, the 3's cancel out. And on the right side of the equation, the x plus 2's cancel out. You are left with x times the quantity x plus 2 equals 3 times the quantity x plus 4. Distribute the x and the 3. X squared plus 2x equals 3x plus 12. Subtract 3x plus 12 from each side and combine like terms. X squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. X squared minus x minus 12 factors into x plus 3 and x minus 4. The left side of this equation is equal to 0 when either factor is equal to 0.
So set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. X minus 4 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. For the first equation, add 4 to each side. X equals 4. For the second, subtract 3 from each side. X equals negative 3. To test whether or not these are solutions to the equation, substitute them into the original equation for x. For x equals 4, you are testing if 4 thirds is equal to 1 plus 4 divided by 4 divided by 1 plus 2 divided by 4. This simplifies to 4 thirds equals 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 half, which simplifies to 4 thirds equals 2 divided by 3 halves. When dividing by a fraction, invert the fraction and multiply. 4 thirds equals 4. 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 4 thirds A softball player bats 47 times and hits the ball safely 8 times. How many additional consecutive times must the player hit the ball safely to obtain a batting average of 250 thousandths? Start by setting up a verbal model. The amount of hits divided by the total bats is equal to the batting average. Call the additional safe hits x. So 8 plus x divided by 47 plus x has to be equal to 25 hundredths. Now solve for x. Multiply each side by the least common denominator. The only denominator is 47 plus x, so multiply each side by 47 plus x. On the left side of the equation, the 47 plus x's cancel out. Distribute the 25 hundredths. Subtract 8 and 25 hundredths x from each side. 75 hundredths x equals 3 and 75 hundredths. Divide each side by 75 hundredths. X equals 5 hits. To test whether or not this is the solution, substitute it into the original equation for x. So you are testing if 8 plus 5 divided by 47 plus 5 is equal to 25 hundredths. The left side of the equation simplifies to 13 divided by 52, which simplifies to 25 hundredths. 25 hundredths is equal to 25 hundredths, so x equals 5 is the solution. This means the player must safely hit the ball consecutively 5 times. One person runs 1 5/10 miles per hour faster than the second person. The first person runs 4 miles in the same time that the second person runs 3 miles. Find the speed of each person. Start by setting up a verbal model. The distance is equal to the rate times time, meaning the time is equal to the distance divided by rate. Each person ran for the same amount of time. So the distance of person 1 divided by the rate of person 1 equals the distance of person 2 divided by the rate of person 2. Now assign labels. Call the rate of person 2 x, and the rate of person 1 x plus 1 5/10, because person 1 ran 1 5/10 miles per hour faster than person 2. Substitute these and the values given in the problem into the verbal model. 4 divided by x plus 1 5/10 equals 3 divided by x. Multiply each side of the equation by the least common denominator. The two denominators are x plus 1 5/10 and x. So the least common denominator is x times the quantity x plus 1 5/10. On the left side of the equation, x plus 1 5/10 cancel out. On the right side of the equation, the x's cancel out. You are left with 4x equals 3 times the quantity x plus 1 5/10. Distribute the 3. 4x equals 3x plus 4 5/10. Subtract 3x from each side. X equals 4 5/10. This is the rate of person 2. Person 1 is going 1 5/10 miles per hour faster than person 2. So the rate of person 1 is 6. This means person 1 ran at 6 miles per hour and person 2 ran at 4 5/10 miles per hour. The total revenue R in dollars is directly proportional to the number of units sold, X. When 500 units are sold, the revenue is $4,825. Find a mathematical model that relates the total revenue R to the number of units sold, X. Because the revenue is directly proportional to the number of units sold, R equals K times X. X is the number of units sold, and K is the constant of proportionality. To solve for K, use the fact that when 500 units are sold, the revenue is $4,825. Substitute these values into the equation. 4,825 equals K times 500. Divide each side by 500. K equals 4,825 divided by 500, which simplifies to 9 65 So K equals 9 65 Substitute this into the original equation. The mathematical model that relates the total revenue R to the number of units sold, X, is R equals 9 65 X. A force of 50 pounds stretches a spring 5 inches. How far will a force of 20 pounds stretch the spring? The force applied to the spring and the distance it stretches are directly proportional, meaning d, the distance it stretches, is equal to k, the constant of proportionality, times F, the force applied. Using the given values of force and distance stretched, find the value of k. Substitute 50 and 5 into this equation for F and D. 5 equals k times 50. Divide each side by 50. K equals 1/10. So D equals 1/10 times F. Substitute 20 into this equation for F. D equals 1/10 times 20. D equals 2 inches. So the spring will stretch 2 inches when 20 pounds is applied to it. What force is required to stretch the spring 1 5/10 inches? Use the equation from part A to solve for F. Multiply each side by 10. F equals 10 times D. Substitute 1.5 into this equation for D. F equals 10 times 1.5, which equals 15 pounds. So 15 pounds is required to stretch the spring 1 5/10 inches. A baby weighing 10 5/10 pounds compresses the spring of a baby scale 7 millimeters. Determine the weight of a baby that compresses the spring 12 millimeters. The force applied to a spring and the distance it is compressed vary directly, meaning D equals K times F, where D is the distance compressed, F is the weight of the baby, and K is a constant of proportionality. Solve for the constant K by substituting the known value of D and F into this equation. 7 equals K times 10 5/10. Divide each side by 10 5/10. K equals 7 divided by 10 5/10, which equals 2/3. Now substitute 2/3 into the original equation for K. D equals 2/3 times F. Now solve this equation for F when D is equal to 12 millimeters. Multiply each side by 3/2. F equals 3/2 D. Substitute 12 into this equation for D. F equals 3 halves times 12, which equals 18 pounds. So the baby weighs 18 pounds. The stopping distance d of an automobile is directly proportional to the square of its speed s. On one road, a car requires 75 feet to stop from a speed of 30 miles per hour. How many feet does the car require to stop from a speed of 48 miles per hour on the same road? The stopping distance d is directly proportional to the square of its speed s. So d equals k times s squared, where k is a constant of proportionality. Use the given values of d and s to solve for k. Substitute 75 into this equation for d and 30 into this equation for s. 75 equals k times 30 squared. Square the 30. 75 equals k times 900. Divide each side by 900. K equals 75 divided by 900, which equals 1/12. So k equals 1/12. Substitute this into the original equation for k. D equals 1/12 s squared. You're asked to find the distance d it takes to stop from a speed of 48 miles per hour. So substitute 48 into this equation for s. D equals 1/12 times 48 squared. Square the 48. D equals 1/12 times 2,304. So D equals 192 feet. The car requires 192 feet to stop from a speed of 48 miles per hour. A company has found that the daily demand X for its boxes of chocolates is inversely proportional to the price P. When the price is $5, the demand is 800 boxes. Approximate the demand when the price is increased to $6. Because X is inversely proportional to P, X equals K divided by P. Use the given values of X and P to solve for K. When the price is $5, the demand is 800 boxes, so substitute 5 into this equation for P and 800 into this equation for X. 800 equals K divided by 5. Multiply each side by 5. K equals 4,000. Substitute 4,000 into the original equation for K. X equals 4,000 divided by P. You are trying to find the demand, which is X, when the price, P, is $6. Substitute 6 into this equation for P. X equals 4,000 divided by 6. X equals 666, and 6/10 repeating, which is approximately 667 boxes. So, when the price is increased to $6, the demand is approximately 667. The weekly demand for a company's frozen pizza varies directly as the amount spent on advertising and inversely as the price per pizza. At $5 per pizza, when $500 is spent each week on ads, the demand is 2,000 pizzas. When advertising is increased to $600, what price yields a demand of 2,000 pizzas? Is this increase worthwhile in terms of revenue? The demand D varies directly with the amount spent on advertising Q and inversely with the price P. So D, the demand, equals K, the constant of proportionality, times Q, the amount spent on advertising, divided by P, the price. Substitute the given values of D, Q, and P into this equation to solve for K. At $5 per pizza, when $500 is spent each week on ads, the demand is 2,000 pizzas. So 2,000 equals K times 500 divided by 5. Multiply each side by 5 divided by 500. 5 times 2,000 divided by 500 equals K. So K equals 20. To find the price P, when $600 is spent on advertising and the demand is 2,000, substitute 2,000 into the original equation for D, 600 into the original equation for Q, and 20 into the original equation for K. 2000 equals 20 times 600 divided by p. Multiply each side by p and divide each side by 2000. P equals 20 times 600 divided by 2000. P equals $6. When $600 is spent on advertising and the demand is $2,000, the price is $6. To determine whether or not this is worthwhile in terms of revenue, calculate the revenue before and after the advertising increase. The revenue is the price P times the demand D. In the first situation, the revenue would be 5 times 2,000, so the revenue would be $10,000. After advertising is increased to $600, the revenue would be 6 times 2,000. So the revenue would be $12,000. The revenue is higher after the advertising increase, so in terms of revenue, this is worthwhile. The simple interest earned by an account varies jointly as the time and the principal. A principal of $600 earns $10 interest in 4 months. How much would $900 earn in 6 months? Because the interest varies jointly as the time and the principal, I equals K times P times T, where I is the interest, K is the constant of proportionality, P is the principal, and T is the time measured in years. To find the constant K, substitute the known values of I, P, and T into this equation. Substitute $10 into this equation for I, 600 into this equation for P, and 1/3 into this equation for T, because 4 months is 1/3 of the year. 10 equals K times 600 times 1/3. This simplifies to 10 equals K times 200. Divide each side by 200. K equals 10 divided by 200, which simplifies to K equals 1/20th. Substitute 1/20th into the original equation for K. I equals 1/20th P times T. To find the interest with a $900 principal after 6 months, substitute 900 into this equation for P and 1/2 into this equation for T, because 6 months is 1/2 of a year. I equals 1/20th times 900 times 1/2. This simplifies to I equals 940ths. So I equals $22.50. The interest with a $900 principal after 6 months is $22.50.